Hello. Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're having an awesome day. Hello. I'm not sure if the video started a few seconds ago or just now, but hello, beautiful souls. All right. I only have a little bit of time because I have other stuff that I have got to get to, but I wanted to really quickly. So yesterday in my stories, I kind of dove in deep a little bit. If you caught it, awesome. If not, always check my stories. Whoa, shaking my desk. Because I always leave great golden nuggets and little tips and thoughts that I have throughout the day. Plus, it's just usually our daily life. But I love to go on there and kind of offer inspiration, healing, all that good stuff. But so today we're talking about the first step in your healing and health journey. And when I talk about healing and health, I'm not just meaning physical. Physical is a big part of it. When we feel physically really healthy and really vital, everything else kind of tends to fall into place. So in human design in the gene keys, the first line is the foundation, and the first line is always a more physical line. Like it's a very physical in and of yourself, and it's your foundation. So when we are feeling very healthy and full of life and vitality here on this 3D physical plane in these bodies that we live in, everything else tends to start to unfold. It's kind of the first step. Now, I believe it's important to always recognize physically your mental state, your emotional state, and your environment, and even spiritually. You know, for me personally, that's really big. Not everyone's there, and that's cool too if that's not your thing. But okay, so your first step in achieving true health and vitality, and if you are in a space where you're having any type of chronic condition or you have a disease, this is going to be your first step to finding that healing. All of our journeys ultimately look different, right? We are all different and unique individuals, and we need to take different steps and different journeys. But to see a change the quickest, this is going to be your first step, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever. So the first step is cleansing. You need to cleanse. Physically, cleansing looks like clearing out your elimination pathways. So making sure, what are those elimination pathways? First, it's your bowels. You need to make sure that the back door is functioning properly. And unfortunately, most of us, the back door is not. And that's a combination from a lot of different things. Physically, like what you are consuming, the food that you eat, what you are consuming even in terms of content and TV, because that can take an emotional toll on you, cause you to constrict. It could be lifestyle, maybe depending on what you do for work. Like if you're a surgeon or something and you work for 14 hours straight, you can't really all of the time go take a poop. So you're constricting your body, right? So depending on what we do, sometimes we don't always have the ability to go to the bathroom, and for many different reasons. So if your colon, if the back door is not functioning properly and with ease, it should be easy to take a poop, should not be a problem. That's a big indicator, because 90% of disease starts in the colon. It's crazy, right? So when there are, our elimination pathways, so the colon's a big one, our bowels, making sure everything's pooping. You should be pooping just about as often as you're eating. So if you eat 3 meals a day, you should be pooping about 3 times a day, right? If you are not pooping at least 1 to 3 times a day, that's a huge indicator. You have some constipation that we need to address. Okay, The next one is the liver. The liver takes a huge hit in our society, just in terms of foods that we eat, medications that we take, alcohol, any types of toxins. The liver processes all those toxins, even the toxins that we put on our skin. Our skin absorbs things. So the liver is huge, making sure our liver is clean and cleansed. So when you're starting your cleansing process, we always start with the colon, we start with the bowels, then we move up to the liver. Next, we move to the bloodstream. We need to make sure that our blood is good and purified. And then the urinary tract, making sure that the kidneys are clean and purified and functioning well, because the liver and the kidneys do a lot of work for us in terms of detoxing the body. And then finally, the skin. Our skin is a big detoxing. So if you ever have any type of skin issues, if you have like eczema or any type of skin issues that like are prevalent on the skin, psoriasis is another one, that is a huge indicator that your liver is overwhelmed. It has too much toxins in it. And remember, we can also relate all this back to emotions. Emotions play a big role in things in terms of experiences and how our physical body reacts and interacts with our world. So when we're talking about cleansing, I'm not just talking about physically. I am also talking about we need to address cleansing the emotional system, taking a good hard look at those things that we don't want to look at so much and really recognize them. Sometimes that involves dealing with past stuff that has happened to us that we've suppressed, learning how to forgive and release those emotions, because you can have even like an allergic reaction to something, but it can be tied to an emotional response you had at that time. Like, let's say, I don't know, just totally making this up. Let's say you're a small child and you're eating some peanut butter. Okay. And something very traumatic happens during the time that you're eating that peanut butter. That can send your body into flight or flight. That can trigger your immune system. And your body doesn't understand physically that what's triggering all that is an emotional response outside of you. What your physical body is thinking is like, oh shit, that was the peanut butter. Oh, attack the peanut butter. Attack the peanut butter. Attack the body. If peanut butter comes in, attack, attack, attack. And then you have an allergic response. Now that can happen in other situations too. I don't know, let's just go along with peanut butter. And I'm going to talk about something that's a little controversial. So one big thing is, I'd have to do the research. I don't know so much anymore, but I know there was like a couple childhood vaccines that one of the ways that they propagated the viruses was in peanut oil. And if you notice, I want to say more when I was a kid and like maybe when I was a little bit older, you'd have a lot, you kind of had like this outbreak almost of children being allergic to peanuts. And you know, then you couldn't take peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to school because a classmate was allergic to peanuts. Well, that can be one of the things that may cause that allergic reaction, is because that virus and the vaccine was kind of propagated in that peanut oil. And then so that those chemicals and everything are still held in there. And then they inject you with the vaccine in your body, you know, does what it's supposed to do with the vaccine. It triggers the immune response, and the immune system doesn't realize that that immune response is just supposed to be for that specific virus, but it's also supposed to be, they're like, oh, but then there's like this peanut constituent too, so we're going to attack that as well. And then, so that could, you know, just all these different things that may trigger. But, so the biggest thing is cleansing. Whatever your view is on vaccines, that's cool. You, by all means, you know, there's different schools of thought there. But so I'm not trying to trigger that whole conversation. So please, let's keep the attacking of that whole thing to a minimum. You can go look up, you know, peanut responses from that. I'm not trying to start that whole argument. But I just wanted to give examples. So we have an emotional example, we have a physical example. all that good stuff. Oh, I have floaties everywhere. But in order to start healing the body, we must first cleanse. We must first start cleansing physically through the bowels and then moving our way up. And then we must start cleansing emotionally, mentally. So many people we have so much mental health stuff going on. And a lot of that is because we have so much up here. So we have to start cleansing mentally and even spiritually. A lot of the times, there's a lot of, I'm a deeply spiritual person. I wouldn't call myself religious, but I'm deeply, deeply spiritual. And, a lot of the times we have all these dogmas and paradigms in different spiritual traditions. For a long time, I was very involved in the yoga community. And I'm not one for dogmas. I don't like dogmas. Don't take anything that I say as dogma. You listen to your own intuition always. But in the yoga community, there tends to be lots of dogmas. And to me, all of our journeys are different. We are all wired differently. But yes. So if this is of any interest to you, if you are ready to do some cleansing, some healing, taking the first steps, I invite you. I am going to be hosting very soon a Cleanse into Vitality program. I am so excited. I'm in the midst of putting it together. We are going to work on mindset. We are going to work on physical cleansing. We're going to work on emotional cleansing, and we're going to work on environmental cleansing. So kind of cover, because that's me. I love to approach things from all different angles. You are going to get some amazing cleansing supplements. I'm going to create yoga flows for each week. I'm going to create meditations to kind of help you process and work through. We're going to talk about different modalities. So it's going to be cleansing, and this is going to be starting in April. So below in the description is a link. You can go on and join the wait list. That way you can stay up to date when I finally have everything put together, and you can be in the know of when that will be starting and when you can sign up and what you got to do to sign up. I am so excited to start bringing all of this goodness to you, because I feel that when we truly work on cleansing out what no longer serves us, we individually start to heal the collective. There's so much going on in the world, especially right now, with a war breaking out and how that affects each one of us. So if we take the responsibility upon ourselves to cleanse our physical body, to cleanse our emotional body, and to cleanse our spiritual body, that has a deep effect on the collective. And the small things that we can do for ourselves will affect our families, will affect our friends, and that just grows and grows and grows. So doing this work isn't just for yourself. It's okay for it to purely be for yourself, but it's not. All right, so join the wait list if you feel called. If not, that's cool. I'm still going to get on here and chat about all things health and healing from through my lens of vitalism, and knowing that you are innately an amazing being and worthy of all the health and vitality. All right, I love y'all. Bye.